I'm John Allison. I'm the retired chairman and CEO of BB&T Corporation, and I'm currently a distinguished professor of practice at Wake Forest University. I joined Job Creators because I'm very concerned about the fact that we have less jobs in the United States than we had 3 years ago. We need to get our economy headed back in the right direction, creating the kind of jobs that provide meaningful work. The first job that meant something to me is I worked in construction in the telephone industry, installing electrical cables in a telephone installation. And I found it very interesting because I felt like I was doing something productive. I was the first person in my immediate family to ever graduate from college. I went to the University of North Carolina, and then I joined BB&T right out of college. When I joined BB&T, it was a very small Eastern North Carolina farm bank. We were basically financing farmers. When I went to work for the bank, I made $600 a month. And the president of the bank at that time, when he hired me, he said, "Look, son, I'm never going to pay you much money, but I'm going to teach you how to live on how much I do pay you." So that was his advice, and I think it's very good advice to this day. I started out on the teller line. I became head of the lending functions of the bank about 1980, and I then became president in 1987, CEO in 1989. When I became CEO, BB&T was about $4.5 billion in assets, and when I retired, it was $152 billion in assets, and we had 31,000 employees at that time. We consciously spend more on employee education than our competitors and less on advertising. The goal is to have better service and to use word of mouth to grow our business. One of the things I strongly believe about work is essential for self-esteem, and self-esteem is essential for happiness, and happiness is the end of the game. Jobs are about meaning in life. That's something I say to the employees of BB&T. You know, it's real important to BB&T that you do your job well, but it's far, far, far more important to you. You know, you might fool me about how well you do your job, you might fool your boss about how well you do your job, but you'll never fool you. And here's the interesting thing. If you don't do your work the best you can possibly do it, you will lower your self-esteem. Because work is the single biggest driver of self-esteem. Because that's where we put our focus, and a lot of our meaning in life comes from doing productive work. So yeah, we need it for the money, but we need it for more than that. It's part of being a human being, is the energy and passion that work creates in people. We're all concerned about security in the United States, and that's a legitimate concern, but America is a land of opportunity. People didn't get on a boat and come to Jamestown to be secure. America's a land of opportunity. Opportunity to be great, opportunity to fail and try again, but most importantly, the opportunity to live life on his own terms, to pursue his personal happiness. And work is an essential part of that pursuit, and that is fundamental to the American sense of life, and that is very precious.